Hello, everybody. Welcome here to NACL's Twitch stream. My name is Kenny Beanie Small. I'm joined alongside here by my buddy, Jonah Best Student Wang. You may have heard of us before. We go by besties when we talk into people's ears as a casting duo. But today, we're going to be bringing you some action from the collegiate Overwatch area of esports, specifically the Rutgers Esports Fireside Open semifinals matchup. This is the Rutgers University Fall LAN competitive tournament for Overwatch.
Hello, everybody. Welcome here to NACL's Twitch stream.
Division 1 roster take on the former stars of the Rutgers Overwatch lineup. Alongside me, like I said, Jonah Best Student Wang. Jonah, how you feeling about this one?
Feeling good. Good to be here, and I'm going to see the old team from 2017 plus the 2018 players, a combination, a mishmash, if you will, of the players versus the current D1 team. The starting map will be Busan, and this is a best of 5, of course. So the second map type will be a hybrid, followed by Assault, Escort, and a 5th map of Control if needed.
Exactly. And so those map choices will be going over to the losers. Loser gets to pick the next map, but winner gets to choose their side, whether it be offense or defense. And that could play into the favor of teams that really like to get high level in those mind games. But before we jump into the action, just got to give everyone here a heads up. NACL is looking to let you guys know that we have a Dota 2 tournament coming up very shortly. It's going to be happening in about 2 weeks' time, and you're going to want to get signed up for that ASAP. Go down into Twitch chat, type in !Dota 2 just to have it pop up in your chat and see some love in there. Go over to playnacl.com and sign up. Get your college involved today, because trust me, you do not want to miss out on the chance to play in this with a $1,000 prize pool and a special secret grand prize, which will be announced within the coming days. So get your name in there, get your team ready, and show up big time, because Dota 2 is ready to play. And so is Overwatch, because I believe we're going to be going into game right now, ladies and gentlemen. And that's going to be it. Busan, the first map of this best of 5 series. Now, Jonah, Busan is one of the few maps I think that came post-launch that has a general positive reception to it now going on to Busan Sanctuary. But do you feel the same way about that?
Yeah, I mean, this map, Sanctuary in particular, is very open space, with the point being surrounded by these 4 pillars. It makes it really, really easy for after you take control of the point to defend it. Now, that being said, I am more curious, not just about the map itself, but about the players on these teams. Of course, we have GT and Chicken Waffles, that DPS duo for a few years. They have graduated. Oh, actually, GT is still in school, but Chicken Waffles has graduated now.
Yep.
And they'll be playing alongside Vac, the last year's off-tank player, and Kari, last year's main tank player as well as the current head coach of Rutgers D1, Llama, and Fist of Yang, last year's flex support. So there's a lot of last year players, and this new lineup on D1 is the only one left over is Insane. The only one left over is James.
Insane has been a player for Rutgers Overwatch since he was a freshman, actually. This is his senior year, so all 4 years he's been at Rutgers, he's been a member of the Overwatch squad, now looking to show why he has been a consistent performer and a consistent starter for this team. Alongside the rest of the starting Scarlet Knights lineup is going to be Ultra and Parzival on that tank duo, Insane and Necrosis filling in the support roles, and then we have King and Aegis going to be locking in those DPS. King and Aegis going in there with the Reaper Doomfist combo. A meta-looking composition here coming out from the Scarlet Knights, but the side of the D team going to be running a little bit of a wonky Bastion Pharah duo coming in here, and they're going to be opening up the fight with a pick early on Insane.
Yeah, there's just no contention for this Bastion and Pharah combination. The Reaper can flank, the Doofus can get in there, but that's not enough to burst down the Bastion. And as I say that, a caster curse hit, Ultra takes down Chicken and Waffles, and the steamroll rolls right in. Parzival's shields on top of Ultra, they're just barreling their way in, and there's no stopping the D1 Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, they just rotate around the map objectives, use the walls that, unlike some games, you can't break through that terrain, so you're going to have a lot more difficult time dealing with people poking around those corners, and the Scarlet Knights used their coordination advantage that they have over this Rutgers D team to force that Bastion out. And honestly, the only way you can deal with a Bastion pick in this meta especially is you gotta have stellar team coordination. But GT, the only one on the field with an ultimate, gonna have that barrage in this fight, gonna have the opportunity to make a big play with it. Let's see what he can do.
Look how free he is as he goes and drops the barrage on top of the Mei, wiping out, gets 2. That is amazing. Let's see if Llama can get this res off too. Battlefield is down, and Insane comes in here with that Coalescence. Is only able to get one. Now, as things stabilize, here comes the res.
Yeah, the res does come in, and it will pick up one. Kyrie going to follow up with a kill on the Aegis, and this looks like the Scarlet Knights are going to have to just try and stagger out their deaths as long as possible. The Rutgers D team here going to have an easy job just cleaning up the remaining scraps of the Scarlet Knights, but Insane and company are doing a great job of just sustaining themselves on this point. Necrosis using that Lucio beat, going to keep the shields up for them, if only for a few seconds longer, but with Chicken and Waffles whipping out this Bastion tank mode, he'll only find one kill. That's not a lot of value for that investment that he used right there. He's going to try and back up, relocate, reposition, but that's going to be a defensive hold for the Scarlet Knights in a fight that looks so lost.
Yeah, at the start of this map, we mentioned the fact that it is very difficult to take this map after it is the first offending team has captured it. It's really, really easy to defend, and you saw why right there. They cut it out and stayed alive for so much longer, and Rutgers, the D1, the old D1 team, wasn't able to get on point and control it.
Exactly, and here you have the Chicken and Waffles Bastion set up in a prime position to do some damage. He had the Amplification Matrix and the Orisa Bongo set up to give him a little bit of extra damage, but he didn't actually cause any damage with it. It was just the threat of it alone.
Zoning.
Scarlet Knights.
Zoning damage.
The zoning abilities, the zoning ultimates, quote unquote.
Yes.
But it does secure the D team their first point take of the map. Now, excuse me, getting themselves closer and closer to, you know, a quality little hold here on the point.
This map is very easy to defend, and they do have GT on that ferret in the sky, meaning that King will have to either land a really nice right click from the Mei, or they just have to ignore him and just hope that he doesn't get as much damage as possible down before the fight actually starts.
Yeah, in these compositions, it puts a lot of pressure on the Sigmas, the Parzival, specifically here on the D1 team. He is the only member aside from that Mei right click that can really put any pressure onto the Pharah Mercy combo with that shield, with that sucking ability that generates his shielding, even with his displacement of the accretion. But GT going to pay for an aggressive barrage with his life, and King dropping a fat Mei ultimate alongside Aegis, using Death Loss and to pick up 2 kills. On the backside here, Chicken and Waffles going to try and use tank mode, but it will not matter at the end of the fight, and that's going to be the Scarlet Knights taking round 1 on Busan.
Yeah, you saw the current D1 team do a great job right there, saving that Ascension with that Bongo and their Mei Blizzard plus the Reaper Death Blossom. They were able to retake that in no time at all. As soon as they had those ultimates ready to go, they just let it rip, and they knew where the Bastion was, because Bastion is that very immobile character, and they just rolled them down.
Exactly. Bastion, he has that threat of just having such high damage output that you need to really calculate how you go about it, but being the immobile character that he is, and you know, some people say immobile and it's an exaggeration or wrongly used, but he is genuinely immobile in that turret form, so relies a lot on that team presence and the coordination to succeed. But they're going to be swapping up the picks here, switching out that Bastion and Baptiste for the D team. In replacement will be a Moira and a Reaper, so going to be looking a little more meta here, but sticking with GT Pharah. I like that choice.
Yeah, the Pharah is a really good counter to this preferred composition, this current meta composition of Doomfist and Reaper. Neither of those characters can really contest the Pharah. And look at this, GT is uncontested essentially, able to fire rockets with nobody contesting him.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of ultimate charge, landing each of these AoE shots, but King on the battlefield is going to be damaging multiple members of the D team, going to be forcing them back to spawn thanks to those gray screens of death, and he's going to have easily secured this first point for the Scarlet Knights. But GT at 75% of his ultimate, only a few more clutch shots away, and that's a beautiful accretion coming out of Parzival, going to displace this Pharah, maybe put him in the worst spot, and Llama actually flies into the train there, trying to stick with his Pharah. That's going to be disaster here for the D team, as Insane picks up the Pharah in the sky, looking like a fly swatter at the end of this fight, and now the Scarlet Knights are going to just roll through the old men and send them back to their retirement home.
Yeah, back to retirement they go, but actually Llama is sending himself back into retirement right there by flying to that train. It is pretty interesting that the D team is electing to go for this slightly different composition. Of course, without that Lucio, it means that Kyrie and Vac on that Orisa and Sigma will be relatively vulnerable, is the word?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it, definitely. You don't have that speed to move from point A to point B, and with Bunker, you really need to be able to get to the most optimal defensive spots. And when you're playing bunker on control, that's even more difficult here. But Gravitic Flux going to be thrown down in the fight. No beat in response. The Croesus will have that available soon. Going to be a free fight for them if they use that correctly. Parzival, though, flexing with his Gravitic Flux, going to pick up 2 kills. The Croesus on the backside finishing off 1 more, and that's going to be a 1 fight for the Scarlet Knights. And Parzival, a snipe with the accretion, dropping GT.
Damn, I think Llama might have done too good of a job coaching these guys. He can't.
Yeah, honestly, it must be bittersweet.
Yeah, you coach them, they get good, and then they beat you. This is the cycle of life.
It's the true anime arc that they need. You know, they have to go up against Sensei. You know, watching Naruto, they have to steal the bell from Kakashi, and this is the stealing of the bell right now. And they're dominating in the matchup, to say the least, with Aegis and King just rolling into the spawn of the D team, flexing on their elders, showing them that the younger generation is here to stay. And with 98% of the point taken, that's going to be a map 1 victory here to the Rutgers D1.
That teabag felt like King was basically saying, "Okay, Boomer," with that one.
I think that was a tactical crouch there, my friend.
A tactical crouch.
A tactical crouch, exactly.
The most tactical of crouches right there.
He was avoiding the headshot from anyone who was aiming at him.
Yes. Perfect. In the end of the game, look at this. Look at this amazing tracking by Insane right here. Keeps his ally alive. Another one. A third one.
Yeah, look at that. Even though Parzival picked up the kills there, but Insane's the one that got the play of the game. Shout out to my support players in the audience. You guys deserve those play of the games.
So, of course, support is an important role.
Exactly. Support is so important. But we will be getting into map number 2 here, and it was selected by the D team, so they are going to be going with Numbani. Just waiting for the readies up so we can hop into map number 2. But Numbani here, Jonah, do you think that's going to favor the D team?
Yeah, I think the D team is playing around GT's far right now, and Busan wasn't really, I mean, it's not really that great of a map for far, with the exception of downtown, which was just played. And we saw the current Scarlet Knights just kind of roll in through main and take the fight to the D team. So I expect Numbani to not go just as Busan did, because the Far is able to maintain a much more of an advantage throughout this map. As you can see here, as we load onto Numbani, there's so many high grounds to this Far to boost her off of, making it sure that she's at the top of the hitbox, meaning that a Doomfist Reaper will have virtually even less chance than on Busan of tackling her down.
And also, something to add here, Chicken and Waffles showed that he likes playing that Bastion, and how often do you see Numbani first point being held with a Bastion comp? And that Pharah just complements it so well to the point that you made. Having that ability to just distract, if only for split seconds, change that LOS, that line of sight from the Bastion to the Pharah, just gives Bastion the window he needs to melt a squishy, melt even a tank, given the right the right boost.
Well, we are starting off with the Scarlet Knights on defense, so it will be offense for the D team. I'm really curious about this storyline going forward of whether or not this non-Lucio composition from the D team can work out. In this current bunker meta, it seems that Lucio is almost a must-pick on control, at least, as you see here that Insane and Necrosis are actually going for Moira and the Baptiste, which is a very strong support duo if they're able to hold on the high ground.
Yeah, the amount of healing those two must put out, I feel, has to be highest overall in the game, next to Moira, Ana, if that. But these two...
Oh, but I spoke too soon, though. Necrosis looks to be going back to that Lucio to try to intrude.
The bait and switch right there. We thought we were getting the Baptiste, but instead we're getting the Lucio, so... a few more funky tunes going to be played for us. And on the side of the D team, they are going to be running what we talked about, though. The Pharah in the hands of GT and the Bastion in the hands of Chicken and Waffle. Going to have to play around this well. And we see the Scarlet Knights looking to minimize the Pharah's impact by charging head-on into the team. But that's going to be a beautiful snipe by Parzival. This Sigma is absolutely dominating the Pharah in the sky.
Yeah, the Mei drops the wall, making sure that the Pharah gets no help early on. And the Mei flanks during this, right after the wall, making it so that the pincer move is on, and GT has nowhere to go except for into the waiting arms of Parzival.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about how impactful these DPS can be. You know, Doomfist having the ability to just one-shot carries, Aegis on the Reaper having the ability to just melt through tanks, one-shot squishies, but Parzival on the Sigma, you know, Sigma usually has the highest damage in the game, if not very close to it, and he's showing us why with all the accretions he's landing. And look at this, Scarlet Knights just running into their opponents head-on, acknowledging what they need to do to deal with this Pharah, but it looks like it's not going according to plan.
Yeah, it was a great immortality field there by Fist of Yang. Actually kept 3 of his teammates alive, and GT popping off, gets 2 kills, stripped the Pharah, falls back away. He missed the booster there, but Llama's there to help him, heal him back up, and the point control is on. Look how zoned they are from this point, from the Bastion, and the Pharah easily comes in for the 3K. That play was wonderful. Set up there by the Bastion Pharah combination. That's the former Scarlet Knights DPS duo that we had for 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. The former players, they live their glory days now, just living their lives as adults of society, having jobs. David, GT, pursued Fortnite. Not sure if he's still on that train, but for the time being, he's enjoying the beautiful views of Numbani from, I'd say, about 50 meters in the air.
Yeah, he's really high up there. One thing is that Kyrie's pulls seem to be getting a lot more value than Ultra. It might be a factor of just being on offense, but it seems that Ultra isn't responding.
And as you say that, though, Caster Curse strikes and Ultra gets a high-value pull right there, aiding in taking down that Mercy, and then the Blizzard comes out for Mei with a beautiful wall. King doing a fantastic job showing proficiency on this hero. On the other hand, though, the Scarlet Knights and the D team are going to have a hell of a fight coming up because the D team will have all 6 ultimates available during this next engagement.
Yeah, but the close range they are to the spawn with Mei will make it very, very difficult for them to get out properly. Immortality gets dropped on top of the accretion, or the ascension rather.
Yeah, look at that. You're talking about how close they are to the point, and the Scarlet Knights are just running head-on into their opponent's spawn. The D team having a lot of trouble picking up any kills right now. Ultra looking to be the lone tank on the front line and gets a little too aggressive, having to get out of dodge from this tank Bastion that Chicken and Waffles had whipped out, but he doesn't find much value for it. Now with the tables turning insane, using his ultimate alongside Aegis with the Death Blossom, gonna pick up 1 kill right there. GT trying to respond with one of his own, and that will come through successfully. The D team stabilizing and staving off their opponents for this fight.
Yeah, it was a really good use of ultimates there by the current Scarlet Knights. They were able to use just the Death Blossom with the more Coalescence. That actually got out 5 ultimates. All 5 that are offline right now besides the Orisa. That had to be expended by the D team just for that 1 fight win, which was all the way at their spawn. So they get very little card push because of this. And look, the Scarlet Knights, they have a recontest here with the Orisa Bongo and the Lucio Soundbear. So this should be a clean fight for them.
Yeah, it should be a clean fight, but we know all too well that ultimates can be used improperly. Outplays can happen, and that's where the D team's going to make their mark, as they do have GT's Pharah just being a nuisance here. The beat's going to be used very aggressively, opening up the fight, allowing King to rush head-on into the Bastion. Going to be dropping Chicken and Waffles early on here, going to be giving the Scarlet Knights the advantage that they need if they can capitalize on it. A beautiful halt accretion combo coming out from the tank line of the Scarlet Knights, going to be dropping their opponents. A boop coming in on the backside just to send the tanks to their dooms a little faster, and the Scarlet Knights responding after a lost fight.
Yeah, that sound barrier that opened up the fight, the engage for the Scarlet Knights, was very key in getting the gap closed through the Bastion's melting damage. But it was a little bit of an error there from Fist of Yang and Chicken Waffles. They didn't quite synergize their immortality field and the Bastion's location. It looked like it slightly missed there on the cam.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what Overwatch comes down to when you're at these high levels of play. Having a slight miss of the left click, missing 1 shot, or just miss-aiming on a single ability by an inch, that can spell disaster for your whole team. So you really have to make sure that you're aiming with the most precise movement that you can, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing here, as we do have the first kill coming through thanks to Kyrie. GT following up, trying to up his tank, and that's going to be 2 kills going over for the D team. The Cross is picking up 1 in the middle of a blizzard, but not going to have much value on that ultimate, as the Scarlet Knights get forced back to their spawn, and the D team win a fight here, securing second point of Numbani, looking to take the third.
Oh man, I just want to highlight Fist of Yang's gameplay right there. He actually kited out Aegis for, it seems, the whole fight while he was on that Baptiste. Aegis on the backline looked to get kills onto either Kyrie or Vac, but Fist of Yang just solos him out, duels him back, and then drops the immortality field and waves bye-bye.
Yeah, I mean, he waved bye-bye, but it wasn't as endearing, wasn't as cute as it should be, and that's going to be a very rude awakening here for the Scarlet Knights as GT's going to pick off 1 kill, but Ultra getting them out of this nightmare, trying to take Llama down, going to be the D team, though, coming out on top here of this engagement if they can just stabilize. GT, though, getting a little too aggressive there, allowing Ultra to pick up a kill, and Aegis just behind enemy lines going to be getting back, but Ultra steps out a little too quickly, not letting his support ultimate come out in time, and that's going to be the Scarlet Knights losing this fight here as long as this Bastion is allowed to do what he does best.
These amplification matrices are building up so fast for Fisted Yang. He's able to get so much value from them because of that, and that's what's letting Chicken and Waffles just carry on the Bastion. You see the Mail come in with combination with the flanking Reaper. A great two-man play set up by King and Aegis does net them the court control with only a minute left. It's very difficult to say that the current setup of the D team will be able to break this offensive choke point hold.
Yeah, it looks like they're having a lot of trouble on this 3rd point. They do have both DPS ultimates and their Sigma ultimate coming up here on this fight. In return, it looks like the Scarlet Knights also have 3 ultimates at their disposal, so Necrosis with that beat going to be able to cancel out Back's Gravitic Flux, but that still leaves GT and Chicken and Waffle some room to work with until King going to drop GT, forcing out the res, so Llama will not have that tool any longer, and we're looking at last fight territory here, Jonah.
Yeah, GT comes in with a clutch 3-man fair barrage over the top, followed up by Vac and Chicken Waffles, both using their ultimates. But look, it's Aegis. He's been unspotted this whole time inside that back line with his Death Blossom still available. Let's see if they're even accounting for him. He has the flank. He's not been spotted yet. He could definitely get a massive play right here. He's looking to TP on top of them. He's in. The ultimate comes out, but no, Yang responds right away with that mortality field.
Yeah, very nicely done by Yang on the Baptiste. Going to be stopping any sort of advantage Aegis could have, but he just comes around for round number 2. Going to pick up a kill, and the Chicken and Waffles followed up with 2 kills there with the Death Blossom, taking out both supports there for the D team, and that's going to be the Scarlet Knights off the back of a sneaky Metal Gear Solid play there by Aegis, picking up a nice defense at the very end of Numbani.
Yeah, it seems they just weren't accounting for the reflank from Aegis right there, but that was definitely a great offense. They have just a few meters left to go, and with that sets the standard for what the current Scarlet Knights will have to pull off on that offensive side now.
Yeah, and the current Scarlet Knights going to have their work cut out for them, because we touched on the composition that the D team likes to run. Chicken and Waffles on that Bastion, GT on the Pharah. That's going to play exactly into their hand for defense. They don't have to worry about, finding the most optimal position to hold down when they have the opportunity to really dictate the pace of it, when they have the opportunity to set up where they want.
Exactly. They spawn, they get a nice 20-second, 30-second chunk to set themselves up. And of course, if you do end up falling, of course, you can just set your team back up at a secondary location, allowing the rest of the team to basically control every choke. I'm expecting the D team to get at least 6 solid fights here.
And you know what? Maybe you should come out with something that helps you move from point A to point B a little quicker. Maybe we need to see that Symmetra get a little action, See that teleporter come out, and let's see that Bastion just go back and forth like a game of Pong.
I could see that, but I don't think GT is going to switch off of this Pharah right here.
I don't think either of them will play Symmetra.
Yes, I don't think any player on the old team will play Symmetra.
2, 1.
Maybe Kyrie.
Maybe Kyrie. Gonna have the tank Symmetra coming into play. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Tank
Jonah
Sim.
Bestun Wang whipping out the facts.
Whoa. Tank Sim is definitely a strong thing, all right?
Yeah, just have to buy, Warmogs and Aegis of the Legion and stuff.
Yes,
and all
Sunfire Cave.
Exactly. That's what you need, my friend. But it's going to be the Scarlet Knights looking to go underneath the point, going to try and find their way to this Bastion and take the first point. A very nice wall coming out by King, and then a beautiful Hawk going to take back off the high ground, forcing their tank to really show all of his cards, and that's going to be a fold for him. Back going down early on. This defense that we talked about, that we've praised by the D team, they're looking so weak right now because they just cannot handle the coordination that came in by the Scarlet Knights, as Chicken and Waffle has just been
totally eliminated from any sort of engagements this whole fight.
Doesn't seem like the D team is doing a good enough job of kiting back. They recognize that their win condition is the Pharah. They built the barrage, but that got picked early on right there, spelling disaster for that fight for them.
Yeah, and that's honestly all you need sometimes. There wasn't an opening pick that necessarily blew the fight open, but it was multiple different small things that came together. The way King walled off Bastion, Ultra halting Vac off the high ground and pulling him down, and then the team focusing the Immortality Lamp and eliminating Vac right away, creating that advantage. So it wasn't just one person, you know, playing Widowmaker or Hanzo getting a pick. It was a team effort creating that opening. Or Doomfist, exactly.
Yeah, this current like display of skill from the current Scarlet Knights is honestly just showing how much they practice, how much they prepare, because this isn't something that could be really shot called in that moment, right? That whole elaborate plan that you just spoke of. It's something that the team trained, practiced.
Exactly. And on the other hand, though, the D team, they do have the Rutgers head coach, so they have all the strategies that Rutgers could be running, in his head. So it's going to be up to them to use that knowledge to their advantage, and they do a good job right there, creating a fight win for themselves, even if GT gets a little too aggressive there.
Yeah, it's like Llama has them downloaded, right? He didn't need to download them because he wrote the code. You know, he wrote the code on them. So I mean, if anything, it's really good to be up to the rest of the D team to pull something off here, though.
Yeah, you can't check his mouse for hacks because he's just already had it embedded in his brain. Back to Chicken and Waffles, though, picking up 2 kills there, giving the D team another fight win, looking very good, looking like a different unit these last 2 fights. Going to be up to them to finish it off, though, as Parzival just commits an ultimate. Questionable to say the least, but Scarlet Knights losing yet another fight, and the D team finding their footing here on the second point in Numbani.
I'm going to be pretty honest right there. Ultra and Parzival kind of just fed. That was just a mistake. They both ended up dying in a 4v6, and they both used their ultimates. That was very bad.
It was unlucky, as the kids would say.
Okay, Zoomer.
Story of my life right there, dude. But you know what? We got Zoomers for days here. The Scarlet Knights, they're all Zoomers. They're all hip and happening young kids, right?
Oh man, I really like this rotation here from the current Scarlet Knight team as it gets answered by the Pharah Barrage. That Sound Barrier gets canceled out for that Pharah ultimate. And the fight ensues here with Necrosis on the point, but look how far they kited back. Kyrie on the Orisa was able to maintain court presence, control the point, make sure that there was no forward progress. And as that happened, the rest of the Scarlet Knights, the rest of the old D1 team, they kited all the way back, meaning that as soon as they turn around, they're just getting melted by the Bastion.
Exactly, and that's so well coordinated for a team that isn't as, you know, uniform as the Scarlet Knights D1 team. This D team is a team of old players. They're coming back trying to have a little bit of those competitive memories rejuvenated, that feeling coming back to them, and they're going at it here in the Fireside Open semifinals.
Oh, man.
He's going to have a beautifully lined up ultimate coming out with the Barrage, picking up 2, and that's just the DPS of the D team, putting the team on their back and showing up big.
He is not made for control because the lack of the Lucio makes it very difficult to outmaneuver the enemy tanks. But once they get onto these other maps, the hybrids, the assaults, they're just able to use the fact of the map geometry to kite all the way back, giving themselves so much time. That was GT's second Barrage in 2 fights. He's averaging 1 per fight. That's all you could ask for a DPS player, right?
Exactly, and honestly, that's really how you gauge as far as effectiveness is how fast are they getting that ultimate up, because a Barrage is almost a fight-winning ultimate if used correctly every single time, and you can get it so quickly by just landing multiple shots on the beefy tank line, landing multiple shots on the vulnerable DPS. Aegis, though, going to be picking off Llama early in the fight, leaving open the rest of the team to have their mistakes be shown in full. Insane, picking up a kill, King following up a kill as well, and with the change over to the Ashe Hanzo DPS lineup, that may have been what the D1 team needed to get them through the second point.
Exactly, they spotted their own weaknesses and it's a great adaptation by them. They're showing that they're not just capable of playing the May Doom and the May Reaper, but look, the double sniper, the Hanzo and the Ashe, that answered the Pharah brilliantly. And it's going to be up to the Scarlet Knights, the old Scarlet Knights, to make change to the roster. And there it is, GT switching from the Pharah to that Mei. A potential counter with that wall, cutting off the light and sight of that double sniper.
Yeah, and I mean, the Mei also gives them the ability to stall out this last point even more effectively. By building up that Blizzard, you have that almost get out of jail free card where you can just clear the point for albeit 6 to 8 seconds, but still creating that advantage for you. And with this bongo being dropped here by Kyrie, that's going to be a fight win guaranteed for the D team, as they just have significantly more damage than their counterparts. But Aegis on the backside gonna pick up 2 kills, so if the regroup comes in fast enough, the D1 team might have found their opening.
Yeah, it was actually a great recontest there by Aegis, but it looks like it was all for naught though. Chicken Wolf was coming back with that Bastion tank form, taking him down, and that's 2 kills, both under those snipers. They're donezo with a minute left here. It's looking like a very possible defense, a very potentially plausible defense for the D team.
Yeah, I mean, this Bastion composition showing its true colors here on the defense of Numbani, giving them the chance to really flaunt why you would run this composition, making it very difficult for a team to deal with all the damage threats that you do have. And with Llama swapping over... Oh, look at the sneaky pathing coming in here. The bongo's going to be dropped, giving the advantage to the D1 team. If they can get around this newly created terrain, going to drop right there. And the amplification matrix does come down on the backside by Fist of Yang's Baptiste, creating the opening that the Scarlet Knights may have needed, if only for a moment. Now with Bob coming in as well, that's going to be a lot of damage, flanking from the backside, pinstering the entirety of the D team. And with King using his Hanzo, he's going to have a lot of free time to just shoot these fish in a barrel. Though GT on this Mei showing why he picked it, picking up a kill on the Parzival, but that's going to be the only one going over to the defense, as they are going to lose every other member in this fight. And with only 4 seconds left, the recontests have to come in. If they're staggered, if they're late, it doesn't matter. They just have to get on the point, but they cannot do that. And the Scarlet Knights win map 2.
King absolutely carried that fight. What we were seeing on our screen was Aegis just whiffing shots on Fist of Yang's Baptiste, just dancing around. But that fight was all King. Walks in on top of the enemy versa, takes down Kyrie, follows up with 2 more kills. As we see play of the game right here from Llama's Mercy, it's pretty much just healing, rezzing.
I don't think I've ever seen back-to-back play of the games like that.
That was
supports get it.
Pretty disappointing of a play of the game, though. I think any of GT's barrages probably would have.
Yeah, GT's barrages, the Death Blossom from Aegis, the Hanzo shots from King, Chicken and Waffles tank mode. I mean, it's really just there were a ton of options. Why would you go with the?
Yeah, I mean, Parzival even like killed the Bastion that was ice boosted up, right? That was a great play. King goes for the Mei wall boost onto the enemy Bastion. Parzival accretions him, and then they burn him down when he has a tank form available. I think that's a rather more valuable play than the flying around of Mercy we just saw.
But you know what? Shout out to you support players nonetheless. Getting your time to shine. Getting the chance to show off that Mercy highlight intro. Because I'm sure you get a Mercy highlight intro, but how often do you really get to whip it out? You know?
This algorithm is rigged. The Blizzard play of the game algorithm, rigged. Supports, you're getting too much love right now.
And so going into map number 3, the Scarlet Knights have a 2-0 advantage with the pick going into the favor of the D team. They do select Paris. So it's going to be up to the Scarlet Knights really to cement themselves with a 3-0 victory here. And going into the map, we will be, and again, potentially the last map of the series here between these two teams. But before we get into the action here, just want to highlight exactly what you guys are looking at here. The NACL, North American Collegiate League. This is a group of young bootstrappers, young go-getters who really want to get collegiate esports off the ground. It's a nonprofit group that's really just focusing on helping students not only excel in esports, but their school as well. They're really looking to just give the players a platform to grow, give the competitors a chance to compete not only consistently, but compete for high stakes and really bring out the best in them. So just go over to playnacl.com, give them a shout out, check out their tournaments, and stick around for when they announce the next round. Because even though Dota 2 is coming up soon, they got a lot more in store for you guys come next semester. So don't go anywhere on Play NACL, and don't go anywhere on this best of 5 series, because we are looking at a hell of a Paris map. Because Jonah, Paris may be the bunker map of all bunker maps. This first point screams Bastion.
When I am playing solo queue, when I'm playing the competitive ladder of Overwatch, and I get into a Paris game, I pray, I beg, I love whoever is the person in my games who dodges when we have Paris. You are a lord and savior, sir.
Is it ever you?
It is me, a lot of times.
Wow, look at you, the hero that we need, not the one that we
myself.
asked for.
Yes. But this map is very, very good, as Kenny said.
Oh,
for
King!
that Bastion.
Sneaking a headshot there off spawn. My God.
Yeah, it's that double sniper there. King popped off on that last map. Let's see if he can do it again on that Hanzo. Hanzo, of course, the DPS character with, I believe, the second highest DPS next to Doomfist currently. Those arrows just come out and they're just able to put so much damage down with Storm Arrow especially.
Yeah, and Jono, seeing double sniper here, it's going to be a little bit of, ooh, nice shot coming in by Aegis using that Widowmaker, but having this double sniper whipped out, it's really the first we're seeing of the series. So how do you play double sniper to get a full hold here on defense?
Well, it's really up to King right here to play up and close, get the sonic arrows down, allow the space, allow the pressure to be on him. And look, as they rotate in, he flanks. This is very, very solid approach from them, but he needs to get out of dodge very quickly. Gets back, could have been taken down there, but a slight misplay from the Scarlet Knights, the old D team rather. They weren't able to punish that flanking Hanzo. Double snipers, the tanks really have to play far back, kite their way out, get the point, use all the space available, like on that platform right there, and make sure that the snipers have adequate time. The more time, the more shots. The more shots, the more chances of landing shots. And with that comes success.
Yeah, but you have a hell of a tall task ahead of you getting behind two barriers, but it doesn't really matter when you throw out a Dragon Strike like that. King and Parzival each picking up a kill right here. And one of the worst parts about this kind of 2 CP map is when you go for these long rotations like the D team just did, if it falls apart halfway through, that's the entire 30 to 45 second window gone to waste.
Yeah, you see there 2 minutes basically being shaved off the time bank. Fisty Gang is switching from that Baptiste to the Zenyatta now. The previous composition they had simply was not working. It looks like Chicken Waffles also makes the change as the GT. It's a throwback composition. Double sniper versus double sniper, but of course the Sigmas are still here to stay.
And the big difference between these two is the flex support, as we have Necrosis sticking on this Baptiste versus Fist. Oh, as I say that, actually, Fist of Yang swaps over to a Baptiste as well. So we will have identical mirror matchups, and I feel like a mirrored double sniper matchup comes down to the snipers just outperforming the other.
I mean, it's very easy for the defensive team to set up already, and as soon as the infrasight is popped, which it just was on Aegis here, so you see it's very easy for these guys to fire and exactly knowing where they are. It's essentially wall hacks, the ultimate, right?
Yeah, wall hacks, exactly. Who allowed this into my Overwatch? Gravitic Flux coming down by Parzival, going to be taking down GT's Hanzo. It's going to be 1 kill for the Scarlet Knights, and now the D team is funneled into this tight corridor, not exactly where you want to be against a team that's going to be very close to their Dragon Strike. Hanzo thriving in those close quarter situations, going to have a big impact on what could be the last fight of this push.
Now on this last fight, Aegis won't have that Widowmaker infrasight, so the only person not behind the shield is this character, this Widowmaker in Aegis, so he's going to be the person that they're going to look to pick. He's going to be the target for the double sniper of GT and Chicken Waffles.
Yeah, and Jonas, something to point out is that the Scarlet Knights have been going with consistently boosting King on this Hanzo versus giving that Widowmaker the boost, and that you can see it paying off in the ultimate charges. King getting yet another Dragon Strike up here, but Chicken the Waffles blowing the fight open now for the offense, picking up a kill, insane, getting the res off and nearly paying for it with his life, but that Valkyrie healing coming in going to be so clutch and keeping him alive through the Gravitic Flux. With both these teams standing face to face right now, looks like they're almost touching noses. It will be a disengage coming in from the defense, if only for a moment, as both snipers from both teams picking up kills. Scarlet Knights, though, look like they're opening this up into their favor.
Yeah, the team of the old D team doesn't get on the point. They're not able to continue the forward momentum, and the pressure is eventually stalled.
Oh my gosh. They didn't even, I can't believe they didn't get to the point. I thought for sure they were going to hit it.
And that's what happens when you don't want to boost you on Paris, I mean.
What do you?
Yeah,
do?
I mean, it's very difficult. You touched on it earlier. It's very difficult for these slow-moving tanks, the Sigma and the Orisa, to get anywhere on this map when you have no amplified speed. That speed boost coming in from Lucio is just so clutch in just avoiding the damage from these snipers, getting from cover to cover. So it shows that you really need to be able to have an extensive hero pool to play at these higher levels of competitive play.
Yeah. I really like Aegis's pathing there too. He recognized that he was the only person that was vulnerable, not behind the Orisa barrier and the Sigma shield too. So during that moment, that one moment where he was vulnerable, he was able to kite back and play a different angle, essentially hiding himself the entire time, and then got a very good flank off. So that play right there, while it might not have been the flashiest, while it might not have been the highlight you'll see, it was a very intelligent play that did net the team a very successful chance to hold first point fully.
Yeah, and look at this. Looks like the D team is whipping out a Season 4 composition. Season 4, Season 5, the glory days. You asked me, an a monkey player.
OG. This is what I came to Overwatch to play.
Yeah, I remember the days of best student on the Ana and Ana abuser. Former soldier as well.
Yes, I also pulse bombed Llama in the air. Just like,
Yeah, at a different Rutgers tournament. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, wow. Look at this. The Scarlet Knights were caught off guard by the defense coming in here. This full dive composition just blowing them out of the water. They had no idea what to expect.
This is the Overwatch we all love to see. This is what we wanted to see. The Tracer, the Genji, everyone just piles in there with the Winston Diva. There's nothing stopping them now. It looks like Insane's making a change from Lucio to Zarya?
Yeah, it looks like they're going for the role swaps, I think. I mean, they're not swapping off 2-2-2, so at the end of the day, as long as they're sticking with the 2-2-2, they can keep this going, and they're going to be trying to flex on their elders here with Carswell swapping over to the Ana, going to get dropped there by Vac. 2 kills going in favor, but the sneak is coming in from Ultra, and he's going to pick it up on the backside! Oh my gosh! The C9 play coming in from the Scarlet Knights, and when it looked so good for the D team, Ultra swapping over to the Hammond, stealing the point and the victory.
That's so unfortunate, man. I was enjoying Overwatch. I was enjoying the dive composition from the D team, and it was all for naught. Ultra playing off the smart play, yes, but it wasn't the fan favorite play. Great job done by him.
Honestly, I wanted to see the rest of that defense come out. I wanted to see Tracer, Genji, Winston, Diva, the good days of Overwatch, the dive days when my monkey was allowed to play all the time. Unfortunately, no longer the same meta. Maybe with this new patch coming out next week, we'll see some funky compositions, and that new patch is going to be what the finals of the Fireside will be played on, as we will be seeing Scarlet Knights D1 team advancing to the grand finals of the Fireside Open, the LAN finals at Rutgers University coming up on December 7th. So these guys, well earned, looking to take the title for themselves this year.
Yeah. And once again, thank you very much to Play NCL. And of course, Dota 2 will be coming up, and there will be a $1,000 prize pool for that, as well as a surprise prize. Is that the right phrasing?
I guess surprise prize. I mean, it rolls off the tongue nicely. The surprise.
The supplementary surprise prize.
Exactly. The surprise that we all want to see and hear. But it's going to be coming out later this week, so you want to make sure you're paying attention to the NACL Twitter. So why don't you hit them up at PlayNACL on Twitter. Hit this Twitch with a follow while you're at it. Thank you for supporting Collegiate Overwatch and Collegiate Esports. Once again, before we sign off one more time, Play NACL going to be hosting not only a Dota 2 tournament, but they will be having themselves a best clip in all of gaming on their social media. Just go on Twitter, tag their Twitter at Play NACL with your clip, and before Thanksgiving, they're going to be giving away one lucky winner $100. So you want to be that lucky winner? You want to pop off and get some money for showing your stuff? Head on over to Play NACL's Twitter and give them a follow and make them see what you got.
Yep, that's all of gaming. So if you got a good Tetris play,
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's Battle Royale Tetris, you know? They're not limiting it to just esports. If you popped off in Star Wars, that new game, show us. Give us that play. I want to see it.
New Star Wars.
I haven't played it yet, but I heard it's very good. But
yeah, it looks good.
now I will have the opportunity to, as we are going to sign off for the evening. So thank you guys for joining us. Once again, my name has been Kenny Beanie Small. Hit me up on Twitter at BeaniesENT. This has been my counterpart. Virtually sitting to my right has been Jonah Best Student Wang. Hit him up on Twitter at Best Student, I believe. Is that correct?
At Best Student GG. Give me a follow. I'll follow you back if I know you. If I don't, tough luck.
Well, then you slide in his DMs and get to know him. That's how you get it done. Thank you guys for coming out. We'll be seeing you again on the other side. Don't go anywhere because we'll be missing you if you don't keep supporting college esports.
Goodbye.